This is the trig unit circle. Okay, we're gonna draw a circle and draw our y-axis and our x-axis. X, y. Okay, so the quadrantals for this unit circle are 0, 90, 180. I'm sorry, 270. Now we're gonna write the degrees for the trig unit circle. So from this line, it's always gonna be 30 degrees. And then 15 above it will be 45, and then 15 again will be 60, and then another 30. And then the same pattern goes for around the whole circle. So this one would be 120, 135, 150, and then 30 degrees from this line to the 150. And then you just do the same thing for each quadrant. So 210, 225, 240, and then 300, 315, 330, and then this one would be 360. Well, this line.
Now we're going to show the degrees in radians. So first I'm going to start with the quadrantal angles. And so first it starts with 0 radians, and then on this side, on 180, it's going to be 1 pi. So half of pi is going to be pi over 2, and then 1 full pi plus half pi is 3 pi over 2. So starting in the first quadrant, the 30 degrees wants to be 60, so the pi will be pi over 6. And 45 wants to stay the same, so it will be pi over 4. And the same goes for 60. 60 wants to be 30, so it will be pi over 3. Now when you go to the second quadrant, you are going to be subtracting 1 from the denominator. So we start with pi over 3, and when you subtract 1 from the denominator, you get 2 pi over 3. And then same, 45 wants to stay 4, so it would be pi over 4. Minus 1 is 3 pi over 4. And again, this one would be pi over 6. Minus 1 is 5 pi over 6. Now to the third quadrant, we're going to add 1 to the denominator. So we're going to start with pi over 6, because it wants to be 30. And adding 1 would make it 7 pi over 6. And then next is 4, wants to stay 4. And adding 1 would make it 5 pi over 4. And then this one wants to be 30. So it'd be pi over 3. Adding 1 is 4 pi over 3. And now in the third quadrant, you have to kind of just memorize. So this one wants to be 30. This one wants to stay the same as 4. And this one wants to be 60. Oops. 6. Now, this is how you remember it. It's just a little way. It's 5, 7, 11. And a way to remember that is going to be 5 days a week, I go to 7-Eleven. And that's the radians.
Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all how to get the ordered pairs for around the trig unit circle. Okay, so first, you're going to think about this as a quadrant. So yeah, it's already split up. And so this is 1, 0. So 1, 0, because it's x, it's 1. And then this one is 0, 1. And then this one will be negative 1, 0, because it's, you know. Okay, and then this one will be 0, negative 1. Okay, and now to get these, you have to remember that square root of 3, is going to be the square root of 3. And then it just goes down the pattern of square root of 2 and then 1. And then every coordinate is over 2. And then for 30, it always wants to be with 1/2. And then 45 wants to be the same. So it's square root of 2 over 2. And then 1/2 wants to be with square root of 3 over 2. And then you just move it over to the next one. So 60 is 1. 45 is square root of 2. And 30 will be square root of 3. And they're both, or all over 2. And then you do the same thing. So 1/2 wants to be with the square root of 3 over 2. 45 wants to be the same. And then 30 wants to be with 1/2. And since this is a negative x, your x's are going to be negative. And your y's are positive. And then to go to this one, you are going to do the same thing. And so this is 30. So it's the square root of 3. And then square root of 2. And then 1. They're all over 2. And then 3 over 2, or square root of 3 over 2, wants to be with 1/2. 45 wants to be the same. And 1/2 wants to be with the square root of 3 over 2. And then this is a negative 1 and a negative 1. So they're both negative. And now we come back to the last quadrant, which is quadrant 4. And this one is the 60, so it's 1. And then this one is the 45, so it's the square root of 2. And then 30, square root of 3. They're all over 2. 1/2 wants to be with the square root of 3 over 2. 45 is the same. And then square root of 3 wants to be with 1/2. And then this is a positive 1 and a negative y. So bam, bam, and bam. And that's how you get the ordered pairs.
Drop the bass, drop the bass,